I just want to point out, is what I like to call the fishtail, right? So they're going to do something like this. They're going to grab that fuel barrel, or fuel tank, which is sitting on my vehicle. And they'll stick it way out here. They might even do something like this. Oh, let's do this. Let's do it more like this. You might see something like this. Right, well, I like to call the fish tank, the fishtail. And the reason for that is, what are we going to lose if I shoot that back fuel tank? A frame, which doesn't add any hit points to your cab. You see yellow numbers coming off because I'm hitting the explosive part. Boom. You lost that frame. Well, we did lose some tires. That means the tires were too far back. So you can play around with that, right? Watch this. Let's just extend it back a little bit. So now we're just using 2 small frames. And we're going to use the fuel tank and, the fuel barrel, and we'll use the fuel tank. I should put more wheels on this thing, but watch what happens. I hit that fuel tank. Pop! Didn't even lose that frame. This is why. And one of the other parts of this, why this is a good thing to do, is watch this. Alright, let's put some Drewsbos on here. This is one of the biggest complaints that meleeers have. Right? They're going to come up here, say they got a back attack on you. They're coming for this thing right here. Pop! Oh shit. Where did his Drewsbo go? It went with the explosion, damn it. So you just lost some fuel. Sucks for you, but you know what? You're still alive, you're still moving around, and if you did win and kept that tail, you would have kept the fuel. So that's why you see that. That's the fishtail. Then, one of the other things that might be nice to see here is something called an asynchronous build. What is an asynchronous build? An asynchronous build is when you do something like this. And you leave a lot of room in the center for something. So let's say we do something like that and I take this and I just come back here and I do this. See, my cab is way off to this side right here. That's an asynchronous build, and the reason they do that is because they can use all this room in the center to add some stuff that would normally be explosive. So let's say, for instance, I wanted or they just want to keep. What about a chameleon? Is that too big for that hole I left in the center? Probably not. So they could add this to the center, just like that, right? Now they want to get a fuel tank in here, so they'll. Remember how I said don't wrap it next to your cab? This is one of the cases where it's actually not a horrible idea. Also, you can use pieces like this, which have high structure value, right? This radar has 283 structure, so that's a good armor. Another good armor piece that most people don't think about is the engine. So if I stuck that engine right here as well, that's still more armor on this side. Or, oops, I could stick it up here, even giving it more armor right there. Then they'll sit there and they'll armor up that spot, right? They'll sit here Again, don't use grills because grills pass through unless you're going to use it as a mounting piece. Right? Since it's on top of an explosive part, if that part goes, we're going to lose everything anyways. No point in doing anything other than roll armor. So then they do this. And they armor up that piece. And then you can make both sides look the same, and then it becomes real hard for somebody to know exactly where to fire on this to get all that damage. And then you'll put some stuff in the front as well for armor. Right, this is an asynchronous build. And I do know some people that like to do that. And then you put your tires on here. Oh, that's the steering wheel. The steering wheel in the front. Let's grab just the twin wheels. There we go. See? Asynchronous. It's not a good build by any means. Not meant to be. I'm just showing off the technique. And that's what an asynchronous build is all about. And then you just armor that up, and here you go. Now you got your pieces to the side. Now there are some downsides to this, and let me just show a common pitfall people can do with their frames. Especially when doing asynchronous builds. And that is not realizing what their frame dependency is. So if I went down here and did this, and then let's say I didn't want to hide that chameleon for some reason. So I came down here and dropped this. Right? The only thing I can connect that frame to is another frame or a cab. So all I have left are these pieces right here, this one frame. So I do this so that I can get tires on the side here. Right? And then if I did something like this, let me grab those tires again. Alright. See, now I've got my vehicle, it's functional, and my chameleon is hidden. Then, let's put a Spectre on here. Let me show you what the problem is with this. That is, everything is connected to just this one frame. All the other frames are connected to it, all the tires are connected to the frames that are connected to this. So if I shoot off just this one frame, pop, they lost everything, right? And even if I decided, oh man, I can fix this, I'll come back here and I left this piece like that, right? I can just connect it together. Now that shouldn't happen. Well, all those frames are still connected because it wraps around, doesn't connect to the cab anywhere else but this one spot. This one piece of frame. Pop! All of it goes. So, you have to be aware of things like that. The only way to have stopped this would be come back down here, raise this. Oops, put that back. Now, this piece is connected to the cab, so both this piece and this piece would have to be gone before all the frames went. Watch. Now we'll lose the two front tires because the two front tires are connected to just this piece. We can solve that by doing this, because now they're connected to both pieces, front and back. So watch. Let's go shoot out that front frame. Pop! didn't lose nothing. Right? Although, watch what happens now if we lose just the other piece. Pop. So those become the two most important pieces. Now you can just protect those pieces, but you don't want to ever have everything relying on one, especially a front frame. And in my opinion, one that's furthest in the back. The reason for that is melee. People are gonna, or you're gonna ram. If you ram somebody and you lose that frame due to ram damage, or somebody hits you with something like a, like a train plow even, and take that frame from you, pop, you would have lost all your vehicles. You would have been sitting on the ground. So just be aware of your frame dependencies.